The camera fades into darkness, a single image lingers, the kind that makes you feel as if time itself has frozen. And then my voice, Ibrahim, was walking down a quiet street in Ouagadougou. The sun was cruel that day. The dust hung heavy in air. The kind of day where silence feels louder than noise. He had been leading the country for months now. Every step he took, someone was watching, someone was waiting, someone was hoping. A soldier turned leader. A man carrying the weight of millions on his shoulders. But that day, he wasn't walking as a president. He wasn't walking as a soldier. He was walking as just Ibrahim. And then he saw him, but a figure sitting by the roadside. Clothes torn, hands trembling, a small tin cup in front of him. Begging, and Ibrahim stopped, because the face looking back at him wasn't a stranger, it was his friend. His brother in all but blood, Ibrahim. The man whispered, eyes widening, his voice cracked, dry like the earth after months without rain. Ibrahim froze. His heart dropped into his stomach. Memories crashed into him like a storm, the classrooms, the laughter, the stolen bread rolls they shared behind the old canteen, the late-night talks about changing the world, about building a nation strong enough to stand tall. The dreamer, the boy who always believed, now he's sitting in the dirt forgotten. For a moment, Ibrahim could not speak. The streets seemed to go silent, as if even the city itself was holding its breath. Finally, Ibrahim's voice broke the stillness. Is it really you? Umar's lips trembled. His eyes filled with tears he had been holding back for years. Yes, it's me. It's me, my brother. And Ibrahim felt something inside him break. He knelt down beside him. Not as a president. Not as a leader. But as a friend. The people nearby watched in shock. A commander of a nation, bowing beside a beggar. I thought you left, Ibrahim whispered. Umar shook his head. Life left me. Dreams left me. I stayed. That was the hook, the moment the story began, but the story was far from simple, because what Ibrahim discovered that day would change everything. Umar told him how it happened, how his father died when illness swept through their town, how his mother sold everything just to keep food on the table, how opportunity never knocked on his door, and how little by little he lost everything. Do you remember our dreams, Ibrahim? Umar asked, his voice trembling. You said we would build a future. You said no child would ever go hungry. You said we would fight for justice. Where is that world now? Ibrahim felt the weight of every word. Because he remembered every promise, every vow. And now he saw the brokenness of those dreams sitting right in front of him. I became a soldier, Ibrahim whispered. I fought, I bled, I rose. I tried to change things. But it feels like I'm fighting an ocean with my bare hands. Umar looked at him, eyes sharp despite the hunger in them. And what good is a fight if your brother is starving by your side? The words cut deep, because they weren't just about him and Umar. They were about everyone, every family broken by poverty, every child begging in the streets, every dream abandoned to dust. Ibrahim's hand shook. This wasn't just guilt. It wasn't just pain. It was a confrontation with the truth. He had been so focused on battles, on power, on leading a nation through fire, that he forgot the simplest fight of all, the fight for the one sitting right in front of him. And in that moment, Ibrahim Traoré made a choice. He took Umar's hand, lifted him from the ground. The tin cup fell, clattering against the stones. Gasps filled the street. People stopped to watch, but Ibrahim didn't care. I will not leave you here, he said. Not today. Not ever again. Umar broke. He cried openly, without shame. And for the first time in years, he felt seen. The climax had begun, because that choice wasn't just about Omar. It was about everyone like him, the forgotten, the broken, the abandoned. Ibrahim brought him food. He gave him shelter. But more than that, he gave him dignity again. And he didn't stop there. That night, he stood before his people, his voice heavy with the memory of Umar's trembling hands. He spoke not as a ruler, but as a man. I saw my brother today, he told the crowd. He was not on a battlefield. He was not in a palace. He was sitting in the dirt, begging for bread. Silence fell, and I realized, if my brother can fall so low, then what have I built? What nation stands if our people kneel in hunger? Every word was a wound. But it was the truth, and the truth burned. From that day, Ibrahim swore to fight a different kind of war, not just against enemies outside, but against poverty, against despair, against the silence that lets men like Umar disappear into the shadows. He created programs for the poor. He pushed for schools, for food, for dignity. And every time he made a speech, he remembered Umar's face. But the story doesn't end there. Because the resolution was more powerful than the beginning, months later, Umar wasn't sitting on the roadside anymore. He stood beside Ibrahim. Clean clothes. A steady smile. A man reborn. I thought I was forgotten, Umar said one evening as they sat together like boys again. But you came back. Ibrahim looked at him. Eyes heavy but steady. No, I never left. I just forgot where to look. The world saw the images, the soldier leader kneeling beside a beggar, the beggar becoming whole again, and they talked about politics, about charity, about power. But for Ibrahim, it wasn't about any of that. It was about a promise he made as a boy to never let his brother fall. And this time he kept it, so when you walk past someone broken, someone forgotten, remember this sometimes. The greatest revolution doesn't start with nations rising or armies marching. It starts with one man refusing to leave his brother behind, and that is what Ibrahim Traoré did.